Well, Michelle Obama's in Denver ahead of her big convention speech. We saw her in the last hour debark from the Gulfstream jet. Tomorrow night she will speak, presenting herself to the nation. So what does she need to say to help her husband's chances of clinching the White House? A preview of Michelle's speech next.
Well, we were at the airport in Denver and we saw Michelle Obama has arrived and she's getting ready to deliver her primetime speech at the Democratic Convention. Here she is coming off the plane with her girls. Well, not all of the speeches from candidates' wives ended up helping their husbands at the polls. What should Michelle Obama say and do when she takes that podium? What should she wear? Jane Hampton Cook is a historian and the author of The Fate of America's First Ladies. It's so nice to have you here, Jane.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
How does Michelle Obama differ from speeches that have been made by other potential first ladies at conventions?
Well, it's really a recent phenomenon that the wife of a candidate speaks at a convention. It's only been in the past decade or so that that's happened. So I think that's a key difference right then and there.
When she's given interviews, and we've been talking about this a little bit today because when she gets up there, we don't know yet what she will say. She has made some statements about America and about Americans that have really been controversial. Should she play it safe tomorrow? Should she stay with that message because her husband is all about change?
Well, you know, there's an old ancient Hebrew proverb that I talk about in my book, The Faith of America's First Ladies, and it's she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. And I think if she just tells the American people why she thinks her husband should be the next president, I think that's the greatest thing that she or Cindy McCain can do at these conventions.
You know, you're wearing a red dress. Red is a power color. I'm curious, what would you advise Michelle as she looks over her wardrobe? Will people, because they've talked about her dresses, her pearls a little bit like Barbara Bush, should she make a special choice? This is a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I think if she chooses something that looks flattering on her, whether it's red or blue or white or pink, whatever color fits her, whatever style fits her, I think, you know, being First Lady is about being yourself. It's one of the greatest jobs in the White House because it is about being yourself and serving the American people. So I think she just needs to choose something that she feels good in, and I think that will translate to the American people.
Do you think it's appropriate for a potential First Lady or the wife of a candidate even at this point to be speaking at a convention? Because I haven't heard that there are plans for Cindy McCain. Are there?
Well, I understand that. I think you will see Cindy McCain at the convention next week, the Republican convention. But, you know, it's appropriate because the wife of a candidate can give the perspective that no one else can give. She can give the personal side, the human side, the family side, and I think that's really important. I mean, Barbara Bush did that in 1998. She was the very first Lady to talk about her husband, who was then Vice President and a presidential candidate. So yes, I think it's very appropriate in today's day and age for the wife of the candidate to talk about why they think the man they love should be the next president.
So what are the first, or give me your top 3 rules that if Michelle Obama and Cindy McCain are listening, and even for the spouses of the vice presidential candidates, we know Joe Biden so far. We don't know who John McCain will pick. What's the top 3 rules for them as they campaign toward general election?
I think they need to be flexible. I think Eleanor Roosevelt had to be flexible in 1940. FDR had a very rough convention, and he sent Eleanor out to talk to them after he picked a Republican, former Republican, to be his vice presidential candidate. So be flexible. I think make the most of the opportunity. That's what Barbara Bush did in 1998. And again in 1992 when she gave a primetime address. And I think be yourself. That's very important for the First Lady, to be herself and learn how this new role, the wife is being a wife of a candidate, be yourself in that role. And I think that's the real key, because these women are already First Ladies. They are First Ladies to their husbands. And I think that's a really key point to make.
All right, Jane Hampton Cook, it's so great to talk to you, and I want to tell everyone they can take a look at the book, The Faith of America's First Ladies. It's a really great read. You have such an interesting perspective on the history of First Ladies, and we'll soon know, won't be long, before we know who our next one is. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.